And I think we're going and we're on. Well, hello, all my JavaScript friends. This is the Virtuoid, aka Mike Smith, and this is a live stream announcing our 2026 projects. Now, I very rarely do live streams. I think I've only done like 4 in the last 6 years. But, I thought this year might be a little bit more fun to do a few more live streams, especially after I get about, 7 gajillion followers. Everybody's going to want to see what I look like on live. But, that's just neither here nor there. But for right now, we'll just keep the live streams just between you and we will just go from there. So I'd like to be able to, first of all, announce what we're going to be doing in 2026. I've got 3 different projects. We're going to be revisiting 2 different projects that we did last year. And of course, we're going to end up with the holiday game 2026 as our final project. Our first project is going to be a factory game. And you've seen these kind of factory games before, where basically you have, something that will extract minerals or extract ores or things like that from the ground. They're taken on conveyor belts into other machines that may produce alloys or produce I don't know, purification of it. And eventually it'll get down to a distribution center in which you will then collect money for everything that you have extracted. And then you'll be able to use that money to upgrade your extractors and your combinators and things like that. And I want to show you just a little bit of what we have done already on the factory game. But that's going to be game number 1 that we're going to start off with probably next week. Probably next week. Next Thursday we'll drop our first video on that. We're also at the same time going to have within all of that the continuation of the snake game. Now, we finished the snake game last year with just doing keyboard inputs and doing some very basic HTML outputs, and I promised you that we would show you how to be able to just plug and play the different inputs and the outputs. And so what we're going to do is we're going to revisit that and do that. We're going to start off with doing a mouse, and then we'll do a controller, and then if I can get VR working, we'll do VR. Also for outputs, we're going to be using Phaser.js for a 2D snake game. We'll use Babylon.js for a 3D snake game, and then we'll use something that I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, but I got an idea in doing a 4D snake game. So stay tuned for all that. So that's going to kind of take about the first 5 or 6 months of the year. Like I said, I'm not going to do it every single week. I'll just kind of put it in between doing the different projects themselves. So, that will be revisit project number 1. So project number 1 is the factory game. Revisit project number 1 is going to be back to the snake game. Project number 2 is going to be one of those click to cash type games. And you've seen all those around too, where, you just click, you make some money. And the more you click, the more money you make. Then you take the money and you upgrade how your system clicks. And then you upgrade different modifiers to your entire little world there. So the idea here is we'll take the clicker and the clicker idea, or click to make money, and then we will enhance that to be able to make more money and more money and more money. The idea is to try to get to a gazillion dollars as soon as you possibly can. A very simple game to be able to do, a very mindless game, but they can be a lot of fun if you really work with it. I've played a number of them on my mobile device in years past. So that's going to be a fun one. And that's going to be project number 2. Revisit project number 2 is going to be the racing game. I got that close to really getting everything working the way I wanted it to work. Specifically, I want to be able to concentrate on the cars themselves. And I want to be able to sit there and say, let's get this 6 degrees of freedom joint all fixed up, and let's make it work just perfectly with these wheels to get the right friction on there, to get the right balance with both the wheels and of the car itself, and to be able to interact with the track. The track was actually working pretty well. A couple little glitches here and there, but we can get those fixed up. Then if we get that working, I think toward the end of the year, one of the last things we'll do with that is we'll try to actually build a racetrack with a full cityscape. Whoa, I hit the microphone. Hello. Full cityscape and everything with it. And so we can have a really nice looking race, set up multiple cameras, things like that. So it's going to take that's going to be a lot of work. And that one may actually go into 2027. I don't know. It depends upon how quickly the snake game goes and how quickly the other other 3 projects go. So that's revisit project number 2. Again, project number 2 is going to be a clicker game. Revisit project number 2 is going to be the racing game. Project number 3 is I'm going to go all the way back to 2020 and take a look at some card games. I created a little card game to demonstrate some of the card classes that I created, and I'm going to take that card game and we're going to really spruce it up a whole lot. So that should be a lot of fun. That's going to be a fairly quick and easy little project because I'll take a lot of the stuff that I did now almost, well, 5.5 years ago, not quite 6, but 5.5 years ago, to be able to recreate the game on its own. And in that way, we can kind of just save off the year with a nice, simple, little, easy card game that, especially if you're a beginner in JavaScript, it will kind of help teach you some of the different things that you can do with JavaScript. So that would be project number 3. And of course, we'll finish off the year with the holiday game 2026. I have no clue whatsoever what it's going to be yet. I really, really enjoyed doing the Crepisoid game last year. It was a barrel of fun to get all of the elf running, the Santa running, getting the missiles going, the asteroids. It was a great deal of fun. So I'm really going to probably stick to some sort of really great 2D pixel type graphics to get it running. But it will be 2026 in December. And we're a long way away from that, 11 whole months or so. But keep track of that. So again, 3 projects are going to be the factory project, the clicker game project, and a card game project. We're going to revisit the snake game and the racing game, and then we'll finish off with holiday game 2026. And one thing I do want to show you before we finish off here is I have been working on the factory game for the last week or so, and I just kind of want to show you very quickly kind of what we have been doing on it so far. Let me just flip over to the screen itself. Okay, that should have gotten us the screen, and it did. So the idea here is that, as you can tell here, I've got things are not, I got something here. So obviously there's not a whole lot there. But the idea here is that you'll have a 50 by 50 grid, which is represented right here. And I have been able to figure out, and this is in Phaser.js, I've been able to figure out how to zoom and unzoom in Phaser.js. Each of these squares are 64 pixels by 64 pixels. And I have already built a sample set of roads. And I kind of put a little design right there. I've also got a sample set of little factories. Basically, the idea here is that you'll take your extractors, which is the second column worth of graphics here, and they will extract 5 different types of minerals. You can put those minerals through a purifier to make them more pure and be able to get more money. You can combine those 2 into combinators, which are on the left-hand side here. And the graphics, unfortunately, I realized, I did it today actually, I realized, that's wrong. There should have been 2 different colors of circles inside there to show you which of the different minerals can be combined. But you get 2 combinations and you get output 1 alloy, and all that goes into the distribution center, which you can see right here. And once it gets to the distribution center, you get your money for it. And then you can be able to take that money and upgrade the speed of the extractors, the purification ability of the purifiers, and the combination ability of the combinators, or in things like that. So the idea here is that once you have the board, basically the distribution center will start in the middle of the board, and you'll have this will actually be a kind of a tannish board to represent sand, represent ground, and you'll have different spots which have possible minerals, and you'll put your extractors, these things, in the second column on those particular points anywhere along the grid here, and then you will purchase conveyor belts to be able to move the product from the extractors to the distribution center, or to go through a purifier, or to be combined into a combinator. So that's kind of basically what the game is. I've got the graphics, I've got this working out. I've got let's take a look at the code here. I've got some code already written. I've got most of the classes done for the alloys, the base class, the combinator, the conveyors. Don't have the distribution center done quite yet. Extractors, minerals, have the purifiers. I have all those classes done. I'm doing this the same way I did the snake classes, in which the business logic is going to be in one set of classes, and then the UI logic is going to be in another set of classes, and there's going to be a master game, which will be factory here, to be a master game JavaScript file to be able to control all the events to go in between all of the different pieces of information, especially as the minerals move down the conveyor belts go into the combinators, or come out of the extractors, go into the combinators or the purifiers or the distribution center, and then have those machines do whatever they have to do. And so that's basically what it is now. So yeah, right now, if you were to, as I've always said, all this code is free. You can go into go into the TheVirtuoid GitHub repository called TheVirtuoid, and you'll find Fun with JavaScript public, and you can grab that and you can play around with it all you want. The code is completely free. Right now, it doesn't do much of anything because I'm just kind of playing around with it. Factory right now is just basically throw it together so I can get something to show up on the screen for the live broadcast. That's all that really is. All the factory does right now. Nothing else really is working, but we will get to all that as the weeks go along here. But that pretty much is what we're going to be able to do for 2026. Again, 3 projects: the factory game, the what is that second project? Let's see. The factory game is the first project. The second project, the clicker game. The third project, the card game. We'll revisit the snake game and the racing game, and then we will also finally do the holiday game 2026, and then we will hit in 2027. It should be a lot of fun in 2027. So again, thank you very much for subscribing to this channel. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. I really appreciate everything that all the comments and everything that y'all have done for me, all the support that I got through 2025 as I restarted this channel. I've had a lot of fun this year, and I expect to have last year, and I expect to have a great deal of fun a little bit later on for this year. A little bit later on, yeah, I'll expect to have a great deal of fun. So again, thank you very much. This is the TheVirtuoid, aka Mike Smith, and keep on coding.